Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be working with this super fast Matchbox number 55 B3 Mercury police commuter. It should be a pretty straightforward restoration. The most difficult part of this build was going to be the decals on the side, being that they're not sold on eBay. I couldn't find them, so I had to do them myself. Here they are. And funny enough, this model, I've seen pictures with this other type of art. I don't know which one is rare, but we're gonna go with the originals. Now let me show you something here. You can see these are not tampos. They seem to be printed sticker on paper. See this? They're not clear coated. So if you wanted to do this, you could basically buy on Walmart that Avery paper that comes where you can, so you could print out your address and make a little sticker with your address. This is basically the same thing, but you can really feel the step here, right? And I do not like it. Another thing, after looking at a lot of pictures, there is none, I couldn't find a model that had straight lines that went straight to the center. They're all different. They're all very different. So that's why I made mine, straight to the center, because I think that's why they intended. Because on some models they have it like ending up here, and then you look at the other side and it seems like they flipped the image, and the yellow, it's all the way at the bottom here, and with barely no red. So I did mine perfectly centered, as you can see there, and I did them in water slide, transparent water slide, since it's going to be white. So you can see the base, somebody painted it with, I think it's Sharpie or something, and the original wheels are scuffed up, but we're gonna try to fix it. We have 1, 2, 3 posts, so let's get to drilling and I'll be back. You guys that are new to the channel, here I'm using a 1/16 drill bit, which I've cut about 1/2 inch from the back part, just so I could be able to make it fit inside the drill. That way I could eliminate the chance of flexing and breaking the drill bit. Now I'm using a 9/64 drill bit to remove the mushroom head from the post. Notice this car has a smaller post in the rear. I'm still using the same size drill bit as the front. A little dirty inside, but everything seems to be in top shape. And even look at that, even has cones in the rears. Now I'm gonna go back to using the 1/16 drill bit to drill a deeper hole, and in the rear I'm still using the 1/16 drill bit. Now I'm gonna use this tool here to clean around the post. That way I could put the car back together without any problems. There you can see that the car goes back together without any force. Now I'm going to use my 256 tap to cut some threads on that post so I could be able to use my button head 256 screws. Now remember what I told you, that the posts in the back were a bit smaller, and the 256, if you force it, it'll break the post. It's a good idea to have in your arsenal some 172 button head screws with a 172 tap. There you can see I use beeswax as a lubrication. Sorry for my hand being in the way. Hopefully you can see the difference between the 256 and the 172 button head screws. Difference in size. And now we are putting it back together with the screws just to make sure that everything works properly. The screws can go in all the way. As you probably saw, the screws are 3/16 inch long. They seem to be a little bit long than needed, but the good thing about those are that if you need them shorter, all you got to do is cut them. Now let's take the axles apart here, or away from the chassis. All you got to do is lift a little and you can slide out the axle. Now we're gonna start removing the paint, and I had a feeling that I was gonna run into problems because these old cars, even Hot Wheels, whenever you have white paint, it seems like the white paint, when they bake it, it gets really stubborn to get out. The paint on the chassis, as you can see, it's coming right off, but on the casting, it's not really doing anything. And by the way, I'm using aircraft paint remover just because I knew that this was going to be a problem. Now there's the chassis. I had to rough up the car a little bit with a brass brush, and there you can see that the paint is starting to bubble. Either way, I had to repeat this process 4 times to be able to get all that paint off. Alright guys, so I'm back. So as you can see, I cleaned it off with a wire brush using my Dremel. And after close inspection, we can see here that we have a nasty corrosion spot here. It feels different. We have more corrosion on this side and more corrosion on this side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean off a little bit the burrs here inside the windows, and I'm gonna run it through my electropolish system just to kill all that corrosion off. You can see it starting on the roof also, and hopefully this restoration can last for another 50 years. And since I'm gonna have the system out, I'm gonna go and run the chassis through the system also, because the chassis, you know, it's not gonna have paint, so we need this to be very nice and up to par with the restored piece. The electropolish system does not harm plastic, so I do not have to remove this. So let me set that up and I'll be back. Alright fellas, so just like that, cleaned it off with a simple green degreaser, and brushed it off with brass brush. You could also do it with steel wool. But you can see we got rid of almost all the corrosion. The one here in the hood, I had to use a file to really knock it down, but it should be good now. Next step, I could zinc plate it, but if I zinc plate the base, then I have to clear coat it, and I don't want to do that. This is going to have enamel paint, so zinc plating will be just a waste of time, so we don't need to do that. We're ready for paint, so let's get set up for that. Alright guys, so check out the wheels. They're not really that bad in the shape, a little bit scuffed up. That's good for us, but we're gonna try and restore them. What do we need? We need a vise, we need a Dremel with a new buffing wheel, and you can either get locking pliers. There's also needle locking pliers. If you're gonna use this, you can see they have channels, so place the axle in the channel. See, it's not really tight. You could move it around. You don't want to damage the axle. It could even be a little bit tighter. You could turn it after it's on there. If you don't have locking pliers, you can use one of these, which also have channels inside, and just use a rubber band wrapped around a few times. That's gonna hold everything in place. See, it's only if you force it open, it's gonna open. If not, it's gonna stay in there. So we need to attach it here to our vise so it could hold it for us, and I'm gonna do that and I'll be back. Alright guys, so I already have this set up right here. I'm gonna be using this pad here, which is 2400 mesh, being that the wheels are not in that bad of shape. It's gonna get loud. We have the Dremel at the lowest speed available, and this is what you do. You inspect it and decide if you want to keep going. And you keep going until they are to your liking. Now this, we're going to clean it off a little bit. I like to use a little bit of water just to get a better feeling and look how it's coming along. Let's give it another go. Alright, so now I'm gonna go ahead and jump to a 4000, which is like really smooth. I just want to get that original sheen back on the wheel here. You don't really have to force it. Make sure there's no big indentations here. I might have to go back. Yeah, I have to smooth it out just a little bit over here. More water. Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel that it's not completely smooth. Let's increase the speed a little bit. Alright, starting to look a lot better. A little water. Let's go with the other one again. Alright guys, so that should be it. Of course we gotta do the other side and the other wheels, but I'm gonna try to polish the axle a little bit, and then with the chrome pen I'm gonna paint the outside here, get everything looking stock again. I'm gonna do that and I'll be back. Alright, so let's clean the axle a little bit. I'm using a brass brush here. That's all you do. That's it. Just like new. Now repeat the process on all axles, and last step is going to be the chrome pen. I'll be back. Alright, for this next step, I make sure the axle is all the way to the other side. That way it cannot poke through this side. See how this rubber band thing really comes in handy. I'm going to be using the Molotov Liquid Chrome 1mm. Now this thing sometimes it dries out. Let me see if I can move it. I can get a better angle here. I'm going very slowly. I don't want to get any chrome inside. I just want it on that outside edge. So always have a piece of paper. That's what I was gonna say. If it dries out, just If you push it, you're gonna get more ink coming out. Just make sure you don't overdo it. Be very, very quiet. That's it. Now repeat on all wheels, and you have a restore set of super fast wheels. What do you think? I'm gonna do the rest and I'll be back. Alright, so while the chrome ink is drying, let's take care of the water slide. Now I recently did a video on urethane paint or clear coat, urethane clear coat, and on that video I mentioned water slides, and for what I always use for water slide, instead of enamel clear coat, I use the polyurethane from Minwax. That does a beautiful job. And when you use micro sole, not microset, the red one, this is stronger, it helps a lot to erase the line between the water slide and the car. And as you can see here, I have my casting painted. I use flat white Krylon, and then you don't want to use a lot because then you're gonna hide all the little details like this here in the back. It looks, you almost want to get a smooth finish, but with flat white you can never achieve that. If you do achieve it, then you have way too much paint. Just get it where everything is covered, and then I use a flat clear coat, and the thinner inside the flat clear coat evens everything out, and it'll give you a pretty smooth finish. I mean, nothing compared to urethane, but the purpose of that step is to get the water slide here. If you're not installing water slide, then you don't need to use the flat clear coat. The flat clear coat only purpose is to smooth everything out, so you have better abilities to install the water slide. Now, before I did all this, I noticed that on this side the L was lined up with the door. So if you keep an eye on for those little things, installing the decals or the water slides becomes a lot easier. And of course, you rip the napkin, and that'll help to suck up a lot of the water. I don't like to press it because sometimes when you press it, you bring back the water slide. So now that it's there, I use my micro sole. Now the clear coat on the water side is glossy, so of course you need to clear coat after you're done. And for that, we're going to be using the urethane I use on that video I was telling you about, the urethane triple thick clear coat. Now this softens the clear coat on the water slide, and it helps bend it inside all the creases and everything like that, so it looks like it was painted in there. Now you gotta, I recommend leaving at least 24 hours, maybe 8, over 8 hours of drying time after you install water slide, so you could do the clear coat. If you do not wait and you still have humidity inside, Boy, you just ruined a paint job, because this thing is gonna lift. So basically I'm gonna do this now, and I use a hair dryer to heat it up a little bit, and just to make sure I don't have any bubbles. And then I do all the sides, and I'll just leave it, and then next day I'll clear coat it. I'm gonna do that, and I'll be back. Alright guys, so let's take a look at what we started with. It was not in that bad of a shape. It did have very bad stickers. They were peeling apart. But here is the finished product. I gotta say, even though this was a simple restoration, it did take a while. So that's gonna be it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think, and remember to subscribe and hit that little bell so you can get notified every time we put out a new video. Hope you liked on how to do the wheel restoration, or how to fix them up a little. So see you on the next one. Bye.